In this video, we're going to transition. We're on sheet 2 of 2, and now I'm going to investigate the primary causes of injury in the loss run data set. It's going to be very similar. So this is where we left off. We left off analyzing and prioritizing by class code, work comp class code. Unfortunately, there was only 4. It'd be great if we had more than that, but this particular data set, that's all it had. And it went all the way to calculating the risk priority number and then setting up priorities based on that. So the highest the number, it's kind of a rank order thing based on multiplying the percent number of claims by the percent total paid. So kind of a pseudo risk or risk priority number. The next step is we're going to analyze by cause, and the steps are similar except that I think I'm going to start by year because I don't think I changed much more. So apex to highlight. Come on. Wait, I got a copy. Okay, it did it. And then I'll just have to clean it up. So as I was saying, very similar except for usually cause codes are sometimes there's too many of them. It'd be good if these groups would use like a primary and a secondary, but they don't. They try to cram it all into one, and where's my delete button? There it is. It makes it so that sure, yeah, there's a difference between maybe a sprain or strain or an overexertion or something like that, but the issue, I'm just going to get rid of all these. I don't think it'll matter. I could always bring it back in if I needed to. Okay, so I highlighted, I right click, I hit delete, and it should get rid of everything. Okay, so I'm back to just my outliers, and I'm going to insert. And control Y. Oh, come on. Right click, insert. And now I should be able to hit control Y. And yeah, control Y is like a repeat thing. Okay, do a couple more because there's probably a lot of cause codes. So as I pointed out before, I need to sort the whole thing. I still, unfortunately, if I didn't have these outliers down here, I could do the filtering thing. But in this case, what I'm going to do is I start in the lower left-hand corner, scroll all the way to the top. Because it's a small group, I can do that. Bring it back one and go data, sort, and now I'm going to sort by, oh, I forgot what it is. Maybe when I see it, I'll know it. It wasn't nature. Was it type of loss? Was that what it was? A to Z? I really should have looked before I jumped, but go up here. And yeah, that was the right one. Type of loss is the right one. Cause, you kind of see the difference here. You know, what's the cause? Is it a bite or is it an animal? There's caught between and there's metal. So it's almost like a primary loss or primary cause and secondary cause. And this is more, you know, like an object or something. And this is more the actual cause. So let's see what we have here. So you see we have contacts with, we have, you know, struck bys or caught-ins, foreign objects. So there's a lot of different things. There's a strain lifting, a strain miscellaneous. And what we can do is we can read that some of that information to see how similar they are. We got to be careful with spelling. Got struck by and struck against. What I do is, oh, we have some missing ones, and so we have to fill a few in. Sometimes when it's purely miscellaneous, we can fill it in by reading it. The idea is, are we going to use the same approach? So if there's a particular job that has, you know, similar causes or different ways of titling it, would we use the same approach to analyze it? And so that's kind of the rule of thumb that I use. Okay, sorry about that. I had to step away for a second. So as I had done this before, but it was easier with that group, is what I do is I go up and I just have to, now you could do a pivot table and get this same result. I'm not comfortable with that, but I need to get all of these different types of loss. And this allows me to kind of look around too. What I do is I go to the end of caught between, and I get to the next group here, and then I go to the end of that, and then I copy. So I'm always doing 2. And then what it does is it kind of shows me where I left off. Sorry about that, just bumped the microphone. So go up here. See, that's where I left off. So I go to the next one and then I do, okay, so there's only one contact with electricity. Now, we'll probably find that quite a bit, like exposure to something, and what I'll do is I'll group those into like a bigger, I shouldn't say a bigger, into sort of a general category. Or I could read it and maybe find a better classification for it. Okay, so hot object, contact with sharps, a lot of contact with sharps. Um, See, you get another one, contact with welding operations. Spelling is important too. You got to kind of hope that they use like a drop-down menu when they fill out their stuff, because a misspelling really messes things up. I'm just going to really hope that it's going to work out. Okay, where's my next point? There it is. Okay, so cumulative injury for an object in I. All right, and then we have one heat exposure. We have two human violence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all the way down to here, and then I'm going to clean it up when I get down below. Again, just little tricks to try to make things go a little bit quicker. So now I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of two of these. And I should probably zoom this in. You probably can't even read it. 130, 140. Maybe I can go one more. 150, 160. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now I'm looking for injury by miscellaneous. It's alphabetical. Okay, we went past it. Injury by miscellaneous. So noise exposure, not currently captured, other. Copy those. Try to get back into my groove here. I'm probably going to get out of my groove because I have to insert more rows. Insert and then Control Y to repeat. Okay, I got to go up and find other. Other. My homage to Danzig. All right, rubbed or braided. We're all the way down to slip, trip, and fall, so we got to be getting close to the bottom, I hope. All right. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, there's slip, trip, and fall. But you see, I'm just going to go up to make sure I find my spot. Yep, slip, trip, or fall. Do you see that right down here there's a slip and fall, and then a slip and fall from ladder or scaffold? Should I do my trick? Yeah, might as well get all the way to strain lifting, and I'll delete the in-betweens. Okay. All right, I'm going to insert a few more lines. Control Y to repeat. Okay, what's the last line again? Strain lifting, strain lifting. Oh, there's going to be quite a few, I guess. Strain lifting. That's where we ended off. So I got to go to the next one, which is strain miscellaneous. And I went too far. Darn, I was really hoping for a strain other. And there we are. Okay, there we are at our end there, pushing or pulling. Now we're going to start with strain, twisting, bending. And struck against. So you see struck, striking against, excuse me, and then there's struck against. What's the difference? Well, it's whatever the person who keeps these records, whatever they classified it as. So striking against, that's struck, striking. Struck by, struck against. It's funny as I'm doing this, my brain's just going off like, why didn't they call it The Empire Struck Back? Okay. And here we go. I think these are the last two. And then we've got some unlabeled, which I'm going to go and label them so that my numbers work out. Uh, or, what we could do is we could go up there and give them a label. So, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to change the color of them. So it looks like sprain strain. While walking into building, employee began to slip on ice, caught the fall, but twisted lower back. Huh. So wouldn't we call that slip, trip, and fall since that was the cause? Slip. I don't know. What were they called? Let me look below here. I can call it the right thing. Slip, trip, fall. I think we just call it that. Yeah, cool. Let's try this one. This one's a knee sprain strain. Came down roof hatch stairs and twisted right knee. That sounds like a slip, trip, fall to me. Next one, allergic reaction. Employee filling papers in warehouse, rash on hands. Was there like an allergic reaction? Oh, shoot. So, bite, scratch, sting. Is there an exposure to something allergic? Inhalation, ingestion, absorption. Inhalation, absorption. I'm going to go that. Knee, sprain, strain. Let's see. Walk downstairs, turn left, twisted knee. Sprain, strain, knee. Jogged from company vehicle into vendor's facility. Gosh. What would that be? They just were jogging. That's weird. Overexertion. So it didn't indicate that there was, okay, employee developed small lump on arm. Disappeared. This DX appears to be a tricep sprain strain. I'm just overexertion. Even though there isn't a classification, it'll probably become one. Removing a Dynex valve when hit high pressure steam of oil in stomach. That sounds like a burn, doesn't it? Sounds like a burn to me. Exposure to hot objects. But then there's contact with chemical as well. Contact with hot object, I think that is one I like better. Contact with hot object. Not just carpal tunnel. I'm just probably going to say overexertion for that one. Low back, overexertion for that one. What's the foreign object in I one? Where was that? Was it projectile or something? I remember seeing something with an eye related thing. Foreign object in I. Oh, spell it right. Maybe it'll come up. Laceration, open wound. Let's see what this is. Working on pulley. Was down on press handle. Press handle hit pulley on the forehead. Sorry. And cause it. So that was a contact with. Is there a contact with sharp object? Contact with machinery, maybe. Let's go contact with machinery. No, that's not point of operation, though. Maybe it's a struck by. Contact with sharp object. Let's see. What's the struck by? Should we just do struck by? Yeah, let's do struck by. Struck by. Okay, so I've got everything here except overexertion because that was one that I created because I knew it was going to be something I'd need. So I'm going to go down here. I'm just going to add it. Overexertion. Now what I need to do is I need to see what I have before I reclassify. I'm going to show you the reclassification in a little bit here. I'm just going to widen this column, and this is going to be number of claims. And then again, we do the equals count if, and this column is I. So I go I2, which is the top, to I839. And then what do I want it to count? Whatever is here. And it gave me 2. We knew that it was going to do that. So then I got to go up and I have to freeze the row numbers. So 2 to 839, but I want everything else to move with me. So highlight it, put it over the bottom, and drag it. Click on the left and drag down. There's everything. Now let's do the totals. I'll just call it totals. And equal the sum of, I gotta scroll up and highlight here, drag it down. The sum of, there. Now, what do we want this to be again? It goes from 2 to 839, so we want 838. Haha, got it. Now, if I want to do the percent, we start with 850. So this is the percent claims, percent total claims. So we divide by the original, even though the outliers are not there, they will be counted later. So we go equal this number divided by 850. And then I turn that into a percent. Where is it? Oh yeah, format cells. And I turned it into a percentage. I better go 2 because some of them might be really low. Yeah, like that one, see? Scroll this down. So it's not going to equal 100%, but that gives us one indication. Now, we could do this now by the indemnity med and everything, but eventually that's not going to be very helpful. So I'm going to go, I'll bring it down here. And again, this should be indemnity paid and all that other stuff should give it the right title. But this would be a sum if. Remember before we did that? So equal sum if, and it's I2 to I 839, and then the criterion is this, and we want them to add up L2 to L839. There's nothing there. That's okay. But now we need to figure out what needs to be frozen. The I and the 2 and the I and the 839 definitely need to be frozen. We just need to freeze the column for the type of loss. And then we just want to freeze the ranges, the row ranges, because we want it to go L to M to N as we go. So let's see if we can get this to work. I'm going to click and drag. Yeah, this is a sum. That's right. I'll turn it all into dollar values here in a little bit. And I didn't really watch to see where I was going. I went too far. I think what I'll just do is just delete this. Clear contents. There, now we're back. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to give it a dollar value. Right click, format cells, currency, and of course I'm just going to round up to the nearest dollar. Nice, very nice. Let's go down here, and I want to add up the columns, and then I'll compare it up above just to make sure. It should be okay. It should be, but got to check. Always got to check. Okay, there's that. Okay. And I can actually make it easier on myself. This will be the check part. I'll just go equal sum of L2 to L839. Yeah, I can just drag it over and then I can delete it. It's been verified. Verification successful. And clear content. So now what have I got? I've got all the payments that went out for all the different causes as the cause categories are right now. We're going to combine those. But I can do a percent total paid. And I want to go by the original, if you recall. I always forget what it is. I'm going to have to go back to this. I'm actually going to write it down on a little piece of paper. You can hear me moving the piece of paper. 2338738. The original amount. Go back over here. And I'll type it in. 2338738. Turn. I gotta turn this into a percent. So format cells, percentage, and I will have 2 decimal points for my percentages, especially when we start working with these numbers here. Click and drag. There you go. So you can already see some are more than others, and I'm going to do my RPN right away. I could do averages and stuff, but when you have this many, it gets a little bit difficult. So the RPN is the percent number of claims multiplied by the percent total paid. And I want this, I wonder if I turn this into a percent or not. I mean, a percent times a percent is a percent. Let's just see how good they go here. Now it's a rank order system. I'm just wondering if the rank order is good enough, or if I should turn it into something else. I mean, the other thing we can do is I can just turn it into a number, and I can go 4 decimal points, and that didn't really help. I mean, what I could do is I can multiply it just by a random number just to move the decimal point. I think I'm going to. So it's just going to be those two numbers times by 100. And I'm just moving the decimal point. That's all I'm doing. Again, this is a rank order, but I want to make sure I can see the numbers. That's going to be 0 because we had a 0. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? And now we can look at the rank of things. So I've got a 2, 1. Is that the largest one? Yeah, by far. So this is going to be number 1. I got a 0.6 down here and a 0.3. Is that going to be the next? Yep. 0.6 is 2. Let's see, I've got a 0.35. I have a 0.41. 0.35, 0.37. So it'll go 4, 1 as 3. And then, where was the 3, 7? 4. Did I do that right? You might have noticed I did it wrong. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then the other one's going to be 5. So rank order, I've got my top 5 causes. The reason that's important, the reason it's important is, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting here just to show you something. Okay. Because I'll show you what I mean, what I'm doing here. It's interesting that they're right next to each other, otherwise they probably share a name. Pretty close. And so I've got 1, 2, 3, I gotta get 4. Was there anything else in there? I got a 2, 5 there. That might be the next. Contact with sharp object. Interesting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how we can figure out if this is where we'd want to stop if these were the final categories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down below and see what we have. So the top 5 equals. And then what I do is I go up there and individually, so I click on this and then I hit the plus sign, plus. Scroll down. Hit another one, plus sign. Another one, plus sign. Hit another one, plus sign. And now I've got my top 5 contained. I hit return. And now what I do is I just click and just drag it all the way down. It's going to add it up for me. And I don't want the risk priority number because that's already been set. So we've got 34% of the total paid. See, did I add that up? Well, I'm going to turn it into this. Because it's not 100%. At least it shouldn't be. It should be like 60%, right? Shouldn't it? Because the other 40% is there. Yeah, so we have 34% of that. I wonder how much that is. 34. Oh. That's almost 60% of what's left. Just curious what it was. Where are we with the frequency? 52%. So 52%, because there's only 12 gone, so that isn't going to change much, but we've got 40% gone over 34, and that was like, what was it, 60 or whatever. We could go one more and see how much that gets. Wasn't there a 0.25 that maybe might be the next one? It's right there. And we got a few 1.19s. Yeah, so let's see what that gives us. This would be 6. And it's going to be a similar exercise. I'm just going to color it different because it's a different addition. Very subtle, very subtle. Okay, so come down here, and I'm going to go top 6. And what I'm trying to do, I hope you're following my logic here, is I'm just kind of stepping through to figure out what we have here, where I want to stop. Click and drag this across and see how much more it goes up. Okay, so now we're at 40% of 60, 2/3, a little over 2/3, and we're at almost 56%. You know, we could do a top 8 because the other ones were close and see what happens. Top 8. I'm trying to get the Pareto. I'm trying to get the 80-20 rule rolling here. So I've got these two, my next. And as you can see, I kind of like the language or the, what it's being called. I'm going to give this a green for no other reason. I'm just adding it up on the bottom. These colors mean really nothing. It's just for me. And I'm bouncing all over the place. And I haven't even looked down below at the outliers. The outliers may be, very telling at this point. Top 8 is equal to this plus the greens. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is going to give us something. Jumped up considerably. Did this. So we're at, I'm going to see what 46% of 59% equals. We're at 77% of the paids, and for the count, we're at 75%. So the top 8, it's where we could stop. I think we've got a Pareto at 80-20 set up here pretty well, so we could stop there. But the thing is, some of these are going to be the same, and when we start combining the categories, I'm trying to insert a row here just to give me some space. We start inserting it, or we start to bring in the outliers. I mean, remember what the outliers were? We've got these, and I'm pretty sure a lot of these would fit up above, just increasing how much the total paid is. That's important, but I'm going to show you an earlier analysis that I had done. And so I've got the old cause code over here on the right. I'm going to kind of zoom it in a little bit. 160 should be plenty. And so here's the old code. These should be familiar to you. So I already figured it out based of the old code. I think the unknown, I reclassified those. So I would have done it later. So what I did is I came up with a new coding system based on like what you'd see on a Bureau of Labor Statistics. What are the top 3 causes? Slip, trip, and fall, struck by cardigans, overexertion. What else do we find? I did a general one for when there's just 1 or 2. You can see I've got quite a few under there. Contact with sharps, object and eye, IH issues, exposure to heat, bite, sting, violence. I put violence with bite, sting, and that covered everything. And what I did is, so then I went over here and I color coded based on these new cause codes. And then what I did is I copied and pasted the whole thing over and I recoded the, I'll show you up above here, recoded. Say I inserted a column and have new cause categories. And I had to go through and do it manually. Oh, I didn't mean to go left to right. Sorry. I was going to try to make it bigger. Yeah, you got to do some manual entry, but I mean, for a lot of it, there's a lot of similarities. So you copy, paste, and then drag it and create the new cause code. It's about as tedious as the original work we did there. And then under the new cause, you see I went from how many to how many and down to 10. Can't remember what I started out with, but now I just have the top 4 categories representing a greater percentage of things. And that's when we can put the outliers in and out once we've established this. So that's what I need you to do. I need you to complete the work I did, reclassify the codes. You can use mine if you want. It's going to be something similar to this. And again, it's just we're trying to focus down and figure out what are the primary causes of injury in this data set. And then the next, we're gonna then analyze those new cause codes based on our original job classification and work comp class code to find out what's causing their injuries within those groups. And we kind of know what they already are, but then we're going to trend them, forecast them, and come up with a return on investment.